Okay, this is going to be part 4 of wedding photography workshop. So if you have a macro lens, you'll always want to use an aperture between 11 and 22. I won't say always. I normally use an aperture between 11 and 22, f11, f22, somewhere in there. When you're doing close-up shots, this means you'll need to likely increase your ISO unless you're outside and it's really bright, or you'll need to have a video light, some type of extra lighting because of your aperture. I typically do this for wedding rings, especially if they're engraved. You'll also want to take photos of the details. You'll want to do obviously close-ups and far away. Get the entire cake with room around it, all the way around it, above it, on both sides and below it. And then you'll want to zoom in and get some more of the details. You can even zoom in more a third time than I did, and I actually did when I took pictures of this cake. I did a third one, but there wasn't enough room on the slide to show that third one. But if I were to zoom in even more, or if I were doing something like the wedding rings, I would definitely be using my macro lens with the aperture, again, between f11 and f22. And let's see. So these are examples of backlight. I love using backlight, but when you're using backlight, this is something to keep in mind. It's too bright unless it's done right. So backlight, too bright unless it's done right. In the image to the left, the backlight was much brighter than the subjects, which works great if you're going for a silhouette look, as shown in the image on the right. The one in the middle is an example of the same bride as the one on the right, and I just had her stand in front of the window, turn toward the window in the one in the middle, and in the one on the right, she was standing with the window behind her. So you can see those big, beautiful windows are amazing. They're great, but you do want to make sure that you're using them correctly. If you want to have that really bright window behind you or behind the subjects, and you don't want a silhouette picture, you're going to need to have some type of external flash or video light, something to light up the subjects. The one on the left, I had to drag the shadows all the way up as far as I could, and then turn down the highlights as much as I could in order to get it to look somewhat normal. And then also, just a little reminder, keep your fingers out of the frame. So when you're taking pictures or taking group pictures, the focal point should always be on the bride's face. If you're taking a picture of more than 2 people, or if the people are staggered either by height or distance, your aperture should be set to f4.5 to around f8, maybe even f11, depending on the number of people in the group and how staggered they are. Are they on steps? Are some a lot taller? Are they standing further back? That type of thing. If you've been shooting the majority of your images, like the getting ready shots, at like f2.0 or 3.5 or whatever, and then you come to a group, you've got to make sure you adjust your f-stop at that point. So getting ready shots are, again, about telling the story. You got to be ready to take multiple shots to capture quickly changing expressions as shown in this example. You just want to be able to click, click, click right through it so you can get every one of those changing expressions. pause this one here.